new people who just discovered us and returning listeners and spectators. Welcome back. Welcome. Let's talk about stress management. Let's go. All right, welcome back. This is Irina Strunina. This is our podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. And this month we are talking about stress management and um, how stress is affecting the blood sugar. And today, to help us to understand better this issue, we have our returning speaker, Trevor Brown. Hello, Trevor.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. Thank you for coming today. And I am so glad that you had time to join us today.
Of course, I love it. It's going to be fun. I always look forward to these opportunities. So thank you for having me back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. So, we will not be talking a lot just about anything. Let's jump right on it because I know you have a lot to share with us and I don't want to take that time. So, I have questions as always, and one of the questions is why? Why managing stress is so important when someone is trying to manage their diagnosis, trying to get control over it. So why we're talking about stress?
Right. I love it. I look at it like a two-part question. There's the scientific approach with the chemistry in the body and how stress can affect blood sugar that way. Then I think the mental side of things with how we react to stress is the other side of that. So let's start with the scientific part. As you know, our body is made up of various hormones, and how our body responds to situations is how those hormones play a role. Um, your stress hormone is cortisol, and we all are familiar in this group with the hormone insulin produced by the pancreas, which helps regulate blood sugar. So the more stress you have in your life, and chronic stress that goes on over time, suppresses the production of insulin in the body. So to
Mhm.
understand that, make that really simple. When we're stressed out, then your pancreas can't do its job, and then you're not able to control blood sugar as easy. So from a purely scientific standpoint, when you're stressed, you have high levels of cortisol, which means your insulin production goes down, which means your blood sugar is naturally going to go up. So that's the scientific side of it. The other side of
Mhm.
that is how we react when we're stressed out, right? So I know for me, even though I do a lot of nutrition stuff, I own a gym, and this should be a part of my life that is just a no brainer every day. I get stressed out too. And when I'm tired, when I'm wore out, when there's pressures from the outside world coming in, it makes it tough to want to get up and work out and put your best foot forward. And a lot of people will turn to eating things that probably aren't the best for them. So if we're already not active, we don't feel like exercising, and then we handle stress with binge eating or eating junk food or things along those lines, it's just a bad combination. So yeah, I think it's twofold. I think it's the scientific and the chemistry in the body, and then I think it's how we mentally cope with that stress that makes it tough to manage that with diabetes for sure.
Definitely. And one more thing that you forgot to mention, sorry for kind of
You go.
jumping
You're
on.
good.
The thing is that we as human or any kind of animal, when we see the danger and the stress is indication that there is something that is not comfortable for us that may be dangerous, right? We react with this kind of like put all our resources together and prepare either to fight or run,
Right.
right? For both of those activities, we need a lot of energy. So our body naturally releases extra glucose or whatever into bloodstream. So we have more energy. So in addition to the fact that production of insulin is suppressed, we are throwing into our bloodstream extra uh, energy to fight or flight,
Right.
and we start eating all this, what you mentioned, the junk food to calm ourselves down. So this is, to me, seems like the perfect storm.
Right.
So if we, I believe that without managing stress, we are really putting ourselves in a very difficult
You're
situation.
exactly right. Yeah, when we're stressed, that cortisol does signal the production of glucose and things, and that's yeah, just a bad combination. And then, when our pancreas isn't doing its job, yeah, we're definitely headed in the wrong direction for sure.
Yep. All right, let's move to the next question, which will be how can taking control of your stress help you to manage your diabetes in a more effective way? So now we learn that we have a lot of um, issues related to stress already in our bodies. How can we actually make it working for us?
Right. So, our bodies are going to react the way that they're going to react, right? So, I think from going back to that first question, from a purely scientific and a body chemistry standpoint, there's really
Mhm.
nothing you can do. Your body's going to be what your body's going to be, but we can
Yeah.
control that from the mental side of things and how we react to stress, right? So,
Hmm.
for me, I think finding ways to eliminate stress in your life or simplify your life is a great place to start. So, what I've noticed from being a part of this group is it seems like when people are newly diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, it's very overwhelming. Where do I start? I need to change my entire life. I need to do all these things at once. And I think if you take a step back and realize it took a number of years to get to this point, and it's probably going to take a little while to get healthy again, and hopefully not be in that diabetic range anymore. We just start with one simple thing. So instead of trying to do everything all at once, which can be very overwhelming for anybody, just pick one simple habit to start with. And maybe that's not drinking any more soda, or maybe that's going for a walk every day, or maybe that is trying to educate yourself on nutrition just a little bit. Whatever it is, start with one thing and just focus on that one thing only, and let the rest of it be what it's going to be, and then just build on that. So I think that's the first thing, is try not to do everything at once. Try to simplify things and let things fall where they may. And then the other side of that is realize that you can only control what you can control, right? So your body's going to do what it's going to do, but your effort will ultimately dictate your outcome, right? So I think it's really easy to feel like I'm diagnosed with the disease and what do I do? And I'm overwhelmed. Just realize you can make yourself have healthier. You absolutely can. I've
Hmm.
seen it so many times. And let that be a calming sensation, right? It's not like
Yeah.
you're diagnosed with something that can't be managed or that cannot be improved. And I think that's a
Mhm.
really cool way to look at type 2 diabetes.
Definitely, definitely. Well, this is something that I trying to speak about every time when I have a chance, that diabetes, it's not a life sentence.
Right.
This is a diagnosis, just like any other diagnosis. Unfortunately, it's not an, couldn't be fixed like the surgery, like, right, you have something that is not right, and doctor performs the surgery and it's
Right.
done. No, here a lot of things relies on you personally, on your personal effort, but it's doable. And as you mentioned in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, we have so many stories already when people get diagnosed and they don't know what to do, and they are upset, frustrated, scared,
Right.
scared to paralyze, they paralyzed. But then when they find that there are more people in a similar situations, I mean, there are some fortunate people who have perfect medical team working with them, and they have ideal supportive uh, family, household, it's easier for them to go through this because they have support. But there are also people who have no knowledge of it, who don't know anyone who may already experienced that, who maybe have family members that are actually resisting the change, and they have to somehow to go through all this. This is why our communities there, to show them that they're not by themselves and they can do it. There are examples that it's doable. Important to somehow to get a grip on your stress,
Right.
relax, catch a breath. I'm, one of the networking, when I go to networking events, people asking me, what are you doing? And I'm saying, I'm helping newly diagnosed to catch a breath, find their grounds, and start moving towards the healthier life. This is kind of like what I explain what I do,
Right.
but this is, I think, what everybody needs to do. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And the cool part is the answer is really simple, which I think almost sometimes people don't like that. For me, we deal with
Mhm,
type 2 diabetics so often, and it's I've got two things for you. We're going to eat healthy, and we're going to exercise in some capacity. And there's no easy
mhm,
button. There's no quick fix. And sometimes people are like, "That's it. That's all it is." Yes, that's all it is. But when you start to dive down the nutrition side, you're right. If they don't have a good support team in place, and I know it, but most people don't know it. So it's taking little steps to educate yourself, being a part of a group like this, getting around like-minded individuals. I think no matter what you do, having a team or a group of like-minded people, it helps a lot. I agree.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I do know, and it doesn't like with anything, you learn about yourself something, and it could be exciting or it could be scary. If I'm just the only one who has this, you know, diagnosis, if I'm the only one who has this complication, if I'm the only one who has this family situation, I know that what I was doing, doing when I was going through my very stressful situations in the family and with health, I was looking for communities. I was looking for places when I could see how that there are some other people who experience similar.
Right.
That there are some other people. How did they do it? Is it working for me or not? But just no, not necessarily that I will repeat what those people did. I just was looking. Okay, there were people that went through this before me. They did that. I don't want to do that, but I can do something different that is similar but different that works for me, for my schedule, for my lifestyle, for my whatever. And just thinking about that, the community is helping to feel that you're not alone in it, that there are other people who had experienced it. You don't have to break the ice, break the grounds, break the whatever, discover the bicycle.
Right.
Things were done before us, so we could just learn from experiences of
Right. I
others.
think be confident in the fact that you have a group full of people that have real proof and have gotten real results. And I think as humans, we're innately wired when somebody tells us something, it's like, prove it, show me. I want to see it. Like I'm not going to believe it until I
Yeah,
see it. Well, the neat part is within this group and in so many other places, you can find real world examples of people that have gotten healthy, that have turned their A1C and their diabetic numbers around. And I think you should take a lot of solace and comfort in that, knowing that it can be done, and there are thousands
yeah,
of people in this group that have done just that. I think that's really neat.
yeah, yeah, definitely. All right. Okay. So we are moving pretty fast. We could talk more examples, by the way. Now, I have a question that is kind of silly because you already gave one tip. let's go with more. What are the suggestions? So you're saying if someone got diagnosed, um, they trying to do everything at once, and you saying that they shouldn't try to do everything
Right.
at once. Pick one thing and do just one thing first. What else people can do, how they can help, and especially we're talking right now, what ways of managing stress can you suggest
Right.
people? Not only like food, but like how to control the stress. I don't know. You know how people say, I have no control over my emotions. I am that emotional person, and everything
Right.
goes like this, and I'm always stressed out. How people can learn to be less stressed?
Right. So two ways of this that I'll go because we can go in so many different directions. But for me, not only do we coach nutrition and work with so many people, but of course I own a gym. And so if you can get on Google and research it on your own, but exercise is an incredible way to relieve stress and it will signal the body to produce good hormones, right? And so those are the things that we
Mhm.
want is are those sort of responses to stress. Stress from exercise is better than stress from other things. So I think moving and movement is medicine, finding a way to exercise. You know, a while back we talked about relative intensity. So for me, exercise with intensity will look different than it does for you. It looks different than it does for my mom, who's 74 years old. And it looks different for a college athlete, right? So
Mhm.
exercising, but exercising relative to your own ability level is key. And I know that when we combine good nutrition with exercise that's relatively intense, your results are exponentially better. So maybe instead of trying to figure out all these things at once, maybe the one other thing to add in there along with eating a little bit better would be just move every day. That's the first thing. And then
Mhm.
something that we teach our young kids that we work with all the time is you're going to be a culmination of the three people that you spend the most time with. So it can be really easy to fall into the trap of I'm going to be with people that are going through the same thing that I am, but that's a good thing if they have a positive outlook on it. If those people are
Yeah.
negative about their situation and they're bringing you down, you're never going to be able to turn your life around. So I think finding positive people that are going through the same things you are or that have been there before will be a key to getting yourself pointed in the right direction. It's a big deal.
Definitely. You know, you just reminded me, one of the business coaches I worked in the past, he would always say that you would never ask financial advice from your broke brother-in-law, right?
Right.
So, yes, it's totally, and that's what I see in our group too, that people I'm so proud of our members. I'm so proud of people who are in our communities because they not only, read the posts, read the information. We do share, we share different um, advices from the nutritionists or from doctors or recipes or, this kind of discoveries that our members have. They come to group and say, hey, I just came back from my meeting with nutritionists, and they do the just screenshot or pictures of the papers that they've got from those experts and share it with the group, and it's great because it helps others. uh, and then what they do, when if somebody got their good results, instead of, okay, I got my good results, my blood sugar is now norm, I'm living by, they stick around and they actually helping those who are lost, who discouraged because they thought that their results will come much faster, or just simply lost, don't know anything. They didn't go through medical school to learn all the terminology and to know what works with what. So our members, the ones who already got the results, they share. Our admins, all our admins, they were uh, diagnosed some time ago they had their numbers bad, but they got a grip on it and they are now in a very controlled situation. They do what they want to do. They know how to manage their blood sugar, they know how to keep it in a normal range, and they are helping like many others. They are helping others and they show with their example that it is possible. Just prepare for a long run. This is not night, fixed overnight,
Right.
right?
I think that's the ultimate example of paying it forward. Nobody in any situation, whether it's health or business, they don't do it alone. There's always help along the way. And I think the very best way to give back and return that is just what you said. Help others that are in the place that you were in at one point, right? I think that's a really neat aspect to this group. And one thing that I've been doing, which I know you've noticed, we have a number of different resources from healthy carbohydrate guides to healthy food
Mhm.
guides. I've been going through the posts in the group and commenting with links to download those Google Drive documents. So I will continue to do that, just to give those things away to people in the group. But yeah, if people have questions, feel free in that group to just ask away, because there are so many positive people and so many people that'll help out and get you where you want to go.
Definitely, definitely. Yes, and that's something that I do like to mention to everyone that in our group we have a lot of examples and people, I know how it works sometimes. You answer a good, you give a good answer, right? And people immediately liking it and they ask you more
Right.
questions. And then it may happen that the questions that are being asked, you don't know the answer, but you don't want to disappoint people. So you go ahead and you learn. And this way, you actually already not focusing on your own issue, you are focusing to help others. That also helps to relieve stress.
Right. I love it. It's that feel good. It's that dopamine response. It's doing something good for other people, makes you feel better inside. I tell my wife it's every year I get more enjoyment out of, seeing the smile on my kiddos' faces at Christmas time, or I enjoy buying my wife something for Christmas more so than I could ever get from buying myself a gift. And I think it's that sense of seeing the enjoyment on other people that's really neat in return, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And what I also, we have a couple minutes left. What I know that we had, well, for one thing, I wanted to say everyone about our support group meetings. This is something, the place where our group members come and help about, help others. So they share their own experiences and then they also help others to know that there is help available, because again we were talking about the fact that you may feel lost, you may feel don't know where to go. This is one of the places where we always invite people to come to. You don't have to be there every time we have a meeting, but if you have a question and you have struggles to find that, it always uh, helpful to know that there's this resource, we have those meetings, and people who are there, they're enjoying,
Right.
as you mentioned, they are enjoying to help out, to give their examples, because not every time we want to type. Sometimes on the phone we don't have time to type something, but here it's a free live conversation and everybody is available to give the answers and help. And helping others, they help themselves as well. And I've heard those uh, comments from people who join our meetings, and they later on they will say that was a good meeting. It actually probably helped me more than I helped
Right.
others, even though I was trying to help, but it helped me to calm down, to catch a breath. And this is something that we sometimes forget to
Well,
breathe.
and I like it because odds are when you bring a table to the question, there's so many other people that are wondering the same thing or are battling with those same issues. So whether it's in those support groups or whether it's just asking a question within the group itself, so many other people are probably battling the same issues, that you end up helping more people just by posting
Mhm.
that question. But I also know that some people don't like that group setting, and they feel uncomfortable at first. So, if anybody has a question they'd like to reach out personally, they can always do that. And I'm always there to help too if they don't feel comfortable in the group setting yet. But I think they should know that it's a safe place and it's a great way to help others just from asking the questions that you're dealing with, for sure.
Definitely, definitely. Well, Trevor, we came to the time when we are actually trying to leave our information to people if they want to reach out and ask questions, as you said. So, how people can reach out to you, how they can find you, and if you have anything else to add to this, please do
Right,
so.
absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. I will be a very active part of the group. You can find Trevor Brown commenting in there all over the place. So if you just click on my name, of course, you can message me on Facebook or reach out there. Once again, that's Trevor Brown, and you'll see Life Base and the Carney CrossFit Gym and things. But otherwise, you can always email Trevor at lifebasesolutions.com, and I'll get in touch with you. So we have all kinds of resources. And if you want those directly without waiting for me to post them, reach out. I'd be more than happy to share some of those resources with anybody that wants them.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you don't remember who was that guy you was talking about stress, reach out to me. I will connect you with them. So we have multiple ways to find our speakers. You just tell me who exactly you're looking for. So with that, I also wanted to remind everyone that we are at the end of month of August, and we have the next month, September. This will be the month when we will have our next diabetic healthcare expo, where we invite speakers like Trevor, many others, to join us. And they have the whole day, 6 hours, sharing their information, share their expertise, share their knowledge, and even put something in the uh, goodie bag to take with you if you would like to join us. It's all virtual, so you don't need to travel, don't need to buy airline tickets. Just find the expo information. It will go live into our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. Just keep your eyes open for announcements from the admins in the group. All right. The next thing I wanted to remind everyone that we are talking at our podcast that called Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. And we are going live every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, just like today. And every last Thursday of the month, we have our diabetic warriors participating. So if any one of the listeners feels like they want to share their story, they have something to say inspiring to other people, please reach out to me. I will be happy to invite you to the group of speakers and have you sharing that your story with others. And the other thing I wanted to say that this podcast will not be possible without our sponsors. So I wanted to say thank you to Mink Life Motivation, to On Balance Entertainment, and Life Based Solutions for supporting our movement, for helping us to get live, to deliver the information to people. And if you don't know yet, we have a channel on Spotify. You just need to go and look for Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360 and watch all our previous episodes that we have already, I think, like almost 30 of them, talking about different issues, aspects. And we, as I said, we have experts and diabetic warriors on it. So please join us, hit the like button or follow, I think, follow button over there, and listen and share with those who may benefit from it. Trevor, thank you very much for joining us. I really enjoyed the conversation. We will have you again soon on those show. And everyone, have a great end of the